Obama, now global head of Al-CIAduh, President ordered drone strike on White House. Paul Joseph Watson, Alex Jones, Infowars.com. March 21, 2013. President Barack Obama is now the global head of Al-CIAduh, bankrolling, arming and equipping terrorists around the world in order to achieve his administration's geopolitical objectives, while simultaneously invoking the threat of terrorists domestically to destroy the Bill of Rights. Since it has now been established that those merely suspected of engaging in terrorism are subject to targeted drone strikes, under the terms of his own prosecution of the war on terror, Obama must immediately order a drone strike on the White House. The administration has sent nearly $500 million, $365 million plus another $60 million, and is now using U.S. Special Forces to train militants in Syria who have pledged allegiance to Al-CIAduh and who continue to carry out grisly beheadings, terrorist bombings targeting innocent civilians, and chemical weapons attacks against women and children. These same militants, backed not only by the U.S. but by every major NATO power, have repeatedly voiced their hatred for and intention to destroy America, as they ransack Christian churches, burn U.S. flags, chant anti-American slogans, and sing the praises of Osama bin Laden while glorifying the 9/11 attacks. As the New York Times reported, these very same terrorists killed U.S. troops in Iraq, and yet Western backing for the insurgency against Bashar al-Assad has enabled violent extremists to seize power in Syria. As multiple reports now confirm, Jabhat al-Nusra, the main Al-CIAduh group in Syria, is now commanding rebels and is engaged in the heaviest frontline fighting in Syria. As the London Guardian reported, rebels in Syria are admittedly being led by Al-CIAduh terrorists, who meet with them every day and train them how to make bombs. The top 29 Syrian opposition groups have all sworn allegiance to Jabhat al-Nusra. Sheikh Mos al-Khatib, head of the Syrian National Coalition of Revolutionary and Opposition Forces, he has also publicly affirmed his support for the terrorist group. These same terrorists have also vowed to attack the United States once they are finished in Syria, while proclaiming their desire to see the Al-CIAduh flag flying over the White House. In addition, while Americans who are suspicious of centralized federal authority and reverent of individual liberty have been characterized as terrorists by their own government, U.S. citizens who openly take up arms to join with terrorists in Libya and Syria are allowed to fly around the world with total impunity. In supporting Al-CIAduh terrorists in Syria as part of the effort to impose regime change, the Obama administration is following the same disastrous policy it pursued in Libya, backing the Al-CIAduh-affiliated Libyan Islamic fighting group, which also killed U.S. troops in Iraq, to overthrow Gaddafi. That led to a country ruled by thugs who have rounded up, tortured and executed thousands of black Libyans. It also led to the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi, which was carried out by some of the very same LIFG terrorists the United States had backed just a year previously. After the overthrow of Gaddafi, NATO powers aided in airlifting LIFG militants into Syria to continue the fight to impose Sharia law across the region. Given all this, it's abundantly clear that the Obama administration has easily outstripped other targets of drone strikes in its zeal to support terrorism around the world. American citizen Anwar al-Awlaki was killed by a drone strike simply for producing propaganda videos and communicating with accused terrorists. His 16-year-old son was similarly slaughtered for merely sharing his father's surname. Other American citizens like John Walker Lind were imprisoned and tortured in Guantanamo Bay for fighting with the Taliban. And yet, as Afghan President Hamid Karzai made clear last week, the Obama administration is now colluding with the Taliban while the group carries out suicide bombings in the service of America. By backing terrorists in Afghanistan, Libya and now Syria, Barack Obama has carved out a role as the global head of Al-CIAduh. Wherever on the map his administration wants to dominate geopolitically, Al-CIAduh terrorists flood into the dirty work, and it's all paid for with your tax dollars. By ordering a drone strike on the White House, Obama would be targeting the primary source now responsible for most of the world's global terrorism, his own administration.